Hi and welcome to DigiGrid Live. This is Michael, product specialist, and I would like to show you a small seminar about DigiGrid, the interfaces and the SoundGrid technology and where to use it, so enjoy it. DigiGrid Advanced Audio Interfaces, audio networking made easy. So let's start with it. DigiGrid, what is it? DigiGrid is a cooperation of Digico and Waves. So Digico is building the hardware, the interfaces, which are based on the SoundGrid protocol by Waves. SoundGrid is in use now for many years. It's a proven technology and is mainly used to implement plugins into the big consoles at the big live venues. So why should I use a network? Because I can use multiple interfaces within the network. I can also use multiple computers. It does not matter if it's a PC or Mac. I just can put them all into the network, in the same audio network. And as I said, it's a proven technology for about 10 years now. But why should I use SoundGrid and DigiGrid and not maybe Dante or Ravenna? Because SoundGrid is the only network where I can just put my plugins to a DSP in the network. To just offload my DSP load from my computer into the network and have it at a very short latency. It's very easy to set up and it's modular and expandable. Network connected. So a few facts about the network. You can use up to 512 channels at 48K within the network or 256 at 96K. You have up to 16 I/O devices, including multiple computers within the network. You have a full network sync, so every interface and every computer is synced via the network, via the SoundGrid protocol. And the clock can come from any I/O device within the network. This is an overview about our product range. On the left side, our desktop interfaces. On the right side, our rack-mounted interfaces. So let's start with servers, as we have also two servers in our portfolio. The first one is the DJS-XL, which is an extreme server, i7, in a rack housing with 2U, and it includes the 4 ports PoE switch on the back. Then we have the DigiGrid iOS XL, which also contains an extreme server, but also a very nice audio interface with 8 Digico preamps, 8 line outputs, IS in-out, SPDIF in-out, MIDI I/O, and a 4-port switch on the back, and 2 headphone sockets or 2 headphone amps on the front, which are separately addressable, so you can do a separate monitor mix on each of these headphone outputs, which is, by the way, throughout the range at DigiGrid like this. So every headphone output on any DigiGrid device can have a separate monitor mix. Just keep that in mind. So in terms of the native interfaces, we have the DigiGrid iOS XL, as already said. Then we have the IOC, which has so many inputs and outputs in just one U. So you have 2 microphone inputs with combo sockets. You have 8 line in-out. You have 16 AS I/O on D-sub. You have an ADOT pair. You have 2 network ports. You have word clock and 2 headphone amplifiers on the front. The next one I want to show you is the IOX, which has 12 microphone preamps from Digico on the back with combo sockets, 6 line outputs, and 4 headphone outputs on the front, word clock, and 2 Ethernet ports on the back. So this interface alone just allows you to record a complete band with 4 monitor mixes. It's pretty easy just on one U. And in case you need some more inputs, just add another one because it's just network. So desktop series. Our DigiGrid D, mainly used on front of house positions or in the studio as in the control room, as it contains 2 mic inputs, 2 line inputs with instrument functionality, and 4 outputs, of which 2 of them are controllable in volume via the big volume knob on the top. And you have a headphone output on the front. This unit can be powered via power supply or via PoE. So this is pretty handy. Just plug in your cable on the back if you have a PoE switch, and that's it. You don't need the power supply anymore. Same for the DiGiGrid M, which is a very small interface with one microphone input, one instrument input, and one headphone output. Can also be powered via PSU or PoE. So it's pretty nice, a pretty nice solution for maybe for rehearsals. If you're in your hotel room, or if you have a vocal booth, just put one of these inside. You can put them on the microphone stand. There's a small adapter for this. Pretty cool. Then we have the DiGiGrid Q, the big helper for all front of house engineers, which has 4 input options. This is just a headphone amplifier with 4 input options: analog, AS, XLR, network, or via Bluetooth. This one is pretty loud, pretty good sounding, and can also be powered via PSU or PoE. And as we have 3 units which can be powered over Ethernet, we also have a DiGiGrid S, which is a 4-port PoE switch, which definitely needs a PSU and can power up to 4 D, M, or Qs. So, next one, our Pro Tools interface, the DLI. This one can use in 2 ways. First way is just as to implement your Waves plugins into Pro Tools. This is in this so-called I/O mode. There are 2 switches on the back where you just connect your DLI ports, your DigiLink ports to your Pro Tools card, so you can use up to 64 channels I/O between SoundGrid and Pro Tools at very low latency to implement your plugins at 0.8 milliseconds latency. This one also has a word clock I/O and a 2-port Ethernet switch, so you can just daisy chain them. Then we have our MADI interface, the MGB and the MGO. Very small unit which can provide up to 128 channels from MADI to SoundGrid and back at 48 kilohertz, or 64 channels at 96 kilohertz. And in case if this is not enough, you can have up to 4 of them in the SoundGrid network, or use our MGR, which is practically 2 MGB or MGO, or a mixed combination of both in just one U. It has a redundant power supply, 2 Ethernet ports, and is a perfect solution for recordings with high channel counts, so up to 128 channels at 96, for example. Where do I use it? First of all, in the studio. Let's say I have normally my sequencer, my DAW with my computer. I have my audio interface with my inputs and my outputs, my monitor outputs to my monitor speakers. That's it. If I need some more inputs because I can afford now a small recording room, I can just put another interface to that via Ethernet and expand my system by many more inputs and outputs, which I can use then for drum recording, for recording complete band, and so on. If this is enough, I can add another small interface. For example, if I have a small vocal booth or something, I can just put a D inside or an M inside and just lay an Ethernet cable to that, and I'm connected with it too. And if I need some more headphone outputs, I can just put another D into the network or 2. And as every computer shows up as an interface in the network, I can also use this to add another computer with a DAW or with main stage on a Mac or anything else which can produce sound to record it. So there's no need anymore to do some audio cables from a client's computer back to your DAW and to convert the signal 2 times. Just install the driver, connect his computer via Ethernet to the network, and you're there. And if you have a server in the network, of course, you can use this to put plugins in real time into your monitor mixes on your DAW. And in case you are not there and you have a second control room, like in this example, of course, the other computer can also use these plugins in the network, or just can offload the plugins to the network. But it's only one computer can do this at once. So, but it's possible to do it from any computer. There's a small special thing in the SoundGrid network, in the SoundGrid world, which is called SoundGrid Connect, which is a small extension of the driver, which allows you to use your old core audio or ASIO interface still with the DiGiGrid interfaces or with any other SoundGrid interfaces within the network. So it will just be implemented and show up in the SoundGrid Studio application as a normal interface which you can assign and route audio to and from. In the live recording is another example. For example, normally it's like this. You have your mixing console, you have one MGB which gets all the signals via MADI. From this you go via Ethernet cable to your computer, in this case via a switch, because I want to extend my system later. So I have on the right side I have my recording software, Logic, Pro Tools, whatever, to record all the single tracks. If this is not enough, if 64 channels at 96 is not enough, I can just add another MGB and use this. If I now need some ambient microphones for live DVD mix or something like that, I can just add another IOX to have some extra analog inputs with my ambient microphones or whatever. But these inputs can also be used now for the front of house mixing from the front of house mixing engineer, as I can route them back to the mixing console, and for example use them for live mixing, for monitor mixing with Klang technologies to have a real ambience on your headphones. So the signal will be splitted to the mixing console and to the recording software. And if I use a server, I can even implement my plugins or insert my plugins to the mixing console, or do a live mix at low latency directly while I'm recording. Some technical stuff. So as I said, each MGB supports up to 128 channels. 2 MGBs are 128 channels at 96K or use an MGR. And the driver is limited to 128 channels currently. Regarding the server, 40 sample latency is a minimum within the network, which is about 0.8 milliseconds from input to output. Some plugins may add some additional latency, but Super Rack and Multi Rack and all the other ones offer plugin rack time alignment, so that everything even if such a plugin is used, that everything is aligned afterwards again. The network itself, routed channels cannot extend 512 at 48K or 256 at 96K, so just keep that in mind. So live mixing. How do I do live mixing? For example, with the LV1 from Waves. This is a small setup, or small normal setup. I have my LV1 computer with a touchscreen, maybe a fader bank, which is connected to my main switch on the front of house. I have a server on my front of house side and another additional I/O to get my signals. For example, for a small CD player or for my TalkBox microphone, so I need a small I/O on the front of house place. And then I have a Cat5e, Cat6 or Cat7 or a fiber to my stage, where I have my switch and my other I/O devices. This one can of course be extended, where I have now here with a computer with 2 touchscreens, a fader bank, everything connected to a switch, 2 servers. One is for redundancy, so in case one server dies, the other one takes over directly with a very small amount of audio glitch. I have an IOC on my front of house for all the inputs and outputs I need there, and another computer which you can see on the right bottom side of the front of house side for example for recording or for doing half playbacks or stuff, for whatever you need, it for. On the stage I still have my 3 IOXs, so I have currently 36 inputs on the stage, all connected to the one stage main switch. So that's it. DiGiGrid advanced audio interfaces, audio networking made easy. Let's get back to me. So in case you have any questions, just let us know. Just write us or via our Facebook page or via email, and we are happy to answer these. So stay tuned, stay healthy, and have a good day.